Hey Rob, did you and Chris see that a bunch of Gundams went up the last day or two?
On BBTS, you mean?
Yeah.
I hadn't looked, but I'll have to see what they've got.
Current status is waiting for Radio Free Cybertron diecast, so you have not actually started it yet.
All I know is that it was a goof of some sort listed because I know that color blue.
Hmm.
Okay, I think we're going now. Yeah, there we
Yeah.
are.
Yeah, I was about to say Blade just posted the link, so probably we're good.
Good.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have something really cool today.
Uh-huh.
It was scheduled to be here today,
Uh-huh.
and then UPS sent me a, oh, we're sorry, we had to reschedule it for Saturday.
Of course.
Don't they know that you have a podcast to do?
I know.
Maybe they haven't heard of him.
Hmm.
I mean, I know the UPS guy knows me, and the FedEx guy for that matter.
We have a pretty good FedEx guy because we've got I've got a tote behind the trash can so that way they can leave stuff in the tote out of sight just as a precaution, just as a precautionary measure. The USPS lady will not, under any circumstances, it's actually shorter to go to the tote than it is to go to the front door, unless you cut through the yard. And it's like, it's literally easier to drop it where I say drop it, but no, she'll leave it on the front step. The closest she's ever gotten is leaving it on top of the trash can.
We get that a lot.
Diecast Sean says he can't hear you.
Yeah, I just saw that.
That's, as I recall, that's a fairly typical problem in diecast streams. I just don't remember how we fixed it.
Yeah, I thought it's that I'm really light.
Okay, let me pull this back up and try to see what's going on over here.
Because it's showing activity on my microphone through XSplit. Very low volume. Yeah, that
Yeah, you're really quiet.
happens every time. And it's up all the way in XSplit, so there's really no way around that.
Well, it's not a problem for Brian.
Default microphone. On the right mic.
Yeah, like I've got the stream up in the background over here, and I can barely hear you saying anything.
I
Yeah,
think I
Rob.
bought cables to fix this, and then it's been a long time since I streamed, so I never hooked them up.
That makes sense. I mean, you'd have to be at home to hook them up for one thing.
Yes.
Blade says, "Oh, Diecast has been talking. I wasn't looking at the screen."
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out a way to fix this. The Okay, so like everybody who's in the live audience right now, on the podcast, Diecast's volume should be just fine. I know that's not really any help to those of you listening to the show as we record. Um, but I'm not sure what our solution is to this because this comes up so seldom.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm using the boom mic.
Yeah, and whatever we do, we can't make it where it impacts your volume on the call
Right.
because that's the audio that we have to prioritize for the podcast purpose. No, Rusty, I think it's an XSplit thing.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely an XSplit thing, and I can't
Uh,
figure out why because everything's turned up on my side as much as it can go. Extensions.
So the first thing I'm seeing on Google is that you can increase the volume range up to 300% by going to Tools, Settings, and clicking the Audio tab in XSplit.
Audio tab, volume range. There we go. Let's go 200 and see.
Good. Good place to start.
Yeah, we'll just because it's default at 100. Apply. Okay. All right. Can you hear me now? Is that better?
Give it a second.
Yeah.
Absolutely no change on the stream.
Absolutely no change. Wow.
Nope.
Okay. Tools, settings. Let's see if the settings stuck. Yes, it did. Volume range 200%.
Okay, so stupid question. You increase that in those settings, but is there like a panel in front of you where you have to slide your microphone gain up further now?
It was slid all the way up. Let me check if it's still. There we go. Yeah, it let me slide it up even more now.
All right, 1 second.
So it was still at 100%. So now it's at 200. Check whisper mode.
Yeah, no, your volume on the stream is not changing at all.
Oh wow!
Damn it.
Even at 200%, that's weird. Oh, let's just go to 300.
Listen to RFC live on Wednesdays. Diecast audio sold separately.
Diecast
Yeah,
is
you have
speaking
to
in
get
a tone that
Patreon
only
for that.
yeah, I was about to say Diecast is speaking in a tone that only patrons can hear.
300, apply. We're going to ludicrous mode. Okay. 300. We are at a comfortable 300%. And John's here. Hey, John.
Oh, hi, John. Well, he's not connected to audio yet,
Oh,
but
okay.
anyway, your volume isn't changing still.
That's weird. I don't know why. I mean, it's a regular USB connected microphone.
I know somebody said it already, but just to be sure, it is outputting from the right mic, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I get that a lot. So
Default microphone. Let me change to. Wait. All right.
Let's apply that. Okay. Now it may be really hot. I see red in the.
Oh yeah, you came up on the stream.
all right.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm hearing on the stream now is like significant background hiss on your audio, so that's not gonna fly.
Okay, let me back it back down to 100 and see if that helps.
Yeah.
Extensions, tools, settings.
It's some kind of progress.
Yeah. There we go. All right, now I'm back to 100%. I can even dial it down a little bit if needed.
Okay, good. I think we got this. Like, I think we got this sorted. So I wasn't listening to anything you were talking about. What did you actually do to fix that?
More options came up in my microphone settings the second time I went in it. When Rob said, "Hey, do you have it set on the right microphone?" I'm like, "Yeah," because there was only one choice. So I was assuming it was just pulling whatever was coming from Windows.
Uh-huh.
And then either I went a different way, or they were just decided to be more choices.
All right.
I'm just glad there were more options because, as you know, options
Are
are
good.
good.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Especially with Cyclone Laser.
Also, Don, you're under no obligation to, but your video has not been on since you got here. Bearing in mind it is an audio podcast, but usually like to show off on camera what you got at least. So, and there's Matt. Hooray!
Don referencing another reviewer, I feel like we should take a drink.
Well, I didn't mention the reviewer by name. I just mentioned one of his catchphrases.
Yeah.
Hi, Matt. You missed all the technical support fun. I use the word fun loosely. Also, we're not hearing you if you're talking, Matt.
So maybe he didn't.
See, he's having his own technical support fun.
It's a shame we're missing out on the swearing right now.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
Yay.
All right.
Can't hear Don though.
Sorry. If we're level 1 support, who's level 2?
Brian, but he's not here.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Feels weird we're recording on a day where I don't have to get up for work the next day.
Oh, I bet you're not any less tired though.
No, yeah, that's true.
Hi, Matt.
Hello.
We hear. Oh, there. We can hear you now.
Don, you having the litter box on top of the arcade cabinet is probably frustrating for the cat.
Actually, that's his old litter box. Because he really can't even turn around in there anymore. So we got him another one that's a high side. Unfortunately, Hank is like the Air Force. He aims high, and it's not the best because it's kind of a flimsy plastic. So we have to kind of wrap it in a trash bag. But we can't find anything higher that's as big as what we have, so we can turn around. So that's just there to use
Okay.
as, you know.
So, concept for you: just go get you one of those, 65 quart or whatever storage bins, and just put a layer of cat litter in the bottom of that. He'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, we talked about that. The thing is, though, something that big is going to eat up so much litter that because it's going to be so long. So either what we want to have to do is we want to have to like get one and cut a hole out, like in the top that he can jump into and jump out of.
Uh-huh.
But then we have to worry about rough sides and all that. So we're just trying to hold out so we can find something made that's going to be taller and maybe one piece. But it's doing the job for now. We just have to wipe down a lot of stuff each week.
This has truly been one of the best RFC pre-shows. 15 minutes of not being able to hear diecast, and then Don following it up with a detailed lecture about his cat's toilet habits.
Well, that's
You don't
kind
get this
of a
on any normal
normal.
week.
That brings me back to the old RFCs when Brian's cat's litter box was behind him.
Yeah, on a webcam.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a certain classic element to that, now that you mention it. I'm going to go BRB for just a couple minutes. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves.
Okay.
I thought he said he's going to go to Arby's for a minute. I thought, what?
Their bacon cheddar is good.
Actually, Don, going to Arby's would take me about 35 minutes in one direction. It's down by the interstate.
Fun.
Also, I don't really care for Arby's that much, so no real incentive.
Well, there at the beginning of May, for the month of May, you got one free sandwich a month on the app. So I got like the $10 double beef and cheddar. That was a $10 sandwich for free, and I just had to buy a drink.
That's badass. Way to go, Don.
Well, I mean, I've got a free Baja Blast freeze from Taco Bell, and I sent everybody the message. If you want it, let me know, and I'll send you the code because I can't. They can't make it with anything but that, and they don't have the Diet Baja freeze, so it's like I can't drink any of these full sugar sodas.
Don, maybe that's what you should do. You should post Don deals, and it could be toy related or it can be food related.
Well, I talked about maybe reaching out to some smaller websites and maybe become an influencer, but I don't know if I'm not sure how good I would help them, as far as places like that. Because, there's so many people on Twitter that I follow that do Amazon and other places, and they're, an associate influencer and stuff. I would like to do it for like smaller websites that maybe could use some help. I just don't know how much help I would be.
You have to. I think you just have to get a following first for that stuff before you even worry about getting sponsors or you know the influencer packages or anything like that. Just post your food deals.
Well, the thing is, most of my food deals are Taco Bell
It's all right.
because in the town where I work, there's not a lot. The McDonald's one sucks. Wendy's never has anything, and they're too expensive. And Hardee's is my favorite, and their offers are terrible. So it's like I'll just go home and have a peanut butter and banana sandwich.
I like the $5 meals from Wendy's. They're all
Well,
right.
well, the problem is though, I like the double stack, and that's now the six.
Yeah. Baja Blast freezies are great, Gaming Fix said.
Well, I just can't. I mean, I probably have more sugar than I should being type 2, but I just can't have that much concentrated sugar in a full sugar soda. That'd be like whatever my limit is, it'd be like blown right past it.
That's understandable.
Oh, John, did you see that Big Bad got the Bison and Dalsim Street Fighter figures in by Jada?
Yeah, I think I've seen people ship their pile of loot now that those two have come in. So yeah, I've seen people like get theirs delivered. I ordered mine through Entertainment Earth, so I'm still waiting. They ship piecemeal, which is fine.
Yeah.
But they don't have it yet.
Yeah, their free shipping is really slow, even for free shipping. Now,
Yeah.
I've got it at Big Bad Toy Store, but I haven't shipped my pile of loot because they got in that Mezco 112 Shadow figure, and it was a Mezco exclusive. I'm on the wait list at Mezco where it's about $40 cheaper, but the wait list isn't a guarantee. So I'm trying to hold off as long as possible to see if the cheaper one comes in at Mezco itself versus getting it at Big Bad. Otherwise, I'm not getting one because they're going for about $200 on eBay.
What's the retail
wow.
on the Jada ones? Is it 30 or 25?
25 Marvel. It's Marvel Legends, $24.99. Black, original Black Series Marvel Legends. Okay, I'm gonna name drop somebody. Vangelis has a review up of the Chun-Li, and he was extremely impressed with the flexibility, the paint, and all that. So, if you've been thinking about getting into the figures, because supposedly, according to him, what he had been told is that Chun-Li is the weakest of the first wave, and he really liked the figure.
The M Bison looks good. I love the cape on it. It's just so, cartoony to me, and it's $30 on Amazon.
Yeah, and that's weird because I had it at Amazon, tfradio.net/Amazon, but it was $5 more, and that's just kind of weird unless it was a third party seller.
Oh, it's sold by a third party. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll do it.
that will do it.
But
That's for sure.
still, Yeah, some of these guys look really good. Like the Dulcim looks good too.
He's the one when Street Fighter first came out, he's the one I gravitated towards because I liked that you had the reach,
Mm-hmm.
but I was so absolutely terrible with his power set. I switched to Ryu because Ryu's very basic and I can't pull off a lot of the super moves. I can occasionally pull off a uppercut, and that's all I can do. I can't do anything else other than that and Fireball, but I usually do pretty good with that.
I'll tell you what, they got more accessories than a Marvel Legends because they have at least Dulcim has long legs, long arms, extra hands, an extra face, and a
Breathes
stand.
fire.
Well, yeah, well,
Yep, like blast effects, basically a stand for their fireballs.
But we've talked about that. It's like it's amazing that something like the Star Wars droid, the Droidica, has no blast effects with it. Not only does it not turn into a ball / wheel completely, you have no blast effects. Most all your Marvel Legends have almost no, like Speedball didn't even have any accessories. They could have given them stupid little ring things they've been giving everybody since they came out with Doctor Strange.
Giving Speedball a figure doll was enormously charitable of the Marvel Legends team.
Matt, you might be on the wrong microphone.
Hey, real quick, I got to run downstairs like for 2 seconds, but before I do, for people who don't know, with the Street Fighter line, they did change factories after their first production run or two of Wave 1, and their new factory is a little bit better. So the paint apps are cleaner. The finish is a little bit more matte on the characters. Whether or not that's your thing, the paint apps are definitely cleaner. And if you're into packaging, the printing quality on the packaging itself is a little bit better. The color's a little bit better. So it may or may not be worth people like buying Wave 1 again. But at this point, their new factory is producing everything, and they produced Wave 1 again. So the one way you can tell if it's an old factory versus a new factory is the back of the box. So on the back of the box of Wave 1, it's a single picture, one picture of the character that's inside that packaging. That is the second factory, so slightly better paint apps and such. Like I said, the original factory did Wave 1, and it showed all 3 characters that were in Wave 1 on the back of the box. So if the back of the box has the 3 characters from Wave 1, that's the old factory. If it's just a single shot of one character on the back, like this with Chun-Li. I'm holding up Chun-Li for the video. That's factory number 2, and that's the one that's doing it all right now. Slightly better quality. So just PSA for everybody, and I'll be right back.
After these messages, John DeLuna will be right back.
Microphone sound any better now?
Oh, yes.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Tremendously, thank you.
I want to get them. I just don't want to have to start buying another line of stuff.
I'm just cherry picking. It's like I didn't get Fei Long. I'm just playing. I'm just getting the characters that I played, and it's like I probably won't be getting Blanca or E Honda and all of them. I'm just getting the characters that I like.
You got to get Blanca.
No, if I get anybody, it'll probably be like Guile or Zangief. Because I never played Zangief because I just never
Zangief.
Zangief.
Zangief,
whatever.
possibly.
Sorry.
That's Street Fighter. Who cares? It's safe to say that because John's not here right now.
Yeah. Rough. We are bad guys, but we are not bad guys.
My back.
All right. It's showtime, so let's do a show.
Okay.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
I think we want that thing too. I don't know where that data is going to go for the auto-generated summary, but I'll do it anyway just in case. Record to that. Record to that. All right, we're good. 3, 2, 1. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 890, closing in on the big 900. which just fills me with so much existential despair. I can't even believe. You may have noticed I'm not Brian Kilby. Brian's moving house tonight. Like right this very minute, he is probably hauling boxes back and forth. So he was not able to be here with us. And in fact, usually when Brian isn't on the show, he is still looming somewhere in the periphery, like making the show go out on the internet. It is his one job most weeks, if nothing else. Like that's his most baseline function on the show. But no, like Brian got a new house. He had to be moving, and so we're trying to do the best we can. For those of you who were here during our pre-show, you probably noticed the 15 minutes or so of not being able to hear Diecast. Diecast is streaming for us this week, and that's a common staple on a Diecast stream, not being able to hear him. But we got that fixed, so go us. For once, those of us watching in the live audience can actually hear what Diecast says. I don't know if that's a selling point or not.
Probably not.
So that's Diecast. We also, of course, have Headmaster Don.
Hey, everybody.
John DeLuna.
Hello.
We have Matt, because I don't forget Matt, unlike some people, Brian.
Yes. Greetings all.
And, of course, Rob Clay.
Hello.
Nobody forgets about Rob. I mean, you can't forget Rob. He's the Ox King. So of course, Radio Free Cybertron, we are the world's oldest Transformers podcast, probably the world's oldest toy and action figure podcast. If somebody out there can prove being around in the space before us, show your work. I'd be interested to find out about it. We've been producing podcasts since 1999, and so we're recording this episode on July 3rd, 2024, and it's a very special day. Diecast actually did reach out a few days ago to make sure I remembered. I did. Thank you, though. I've actually been giving this some thought for a couple weeks. So what we usually do at around the end of June every year, we have our JD Church memorial episode because JD Church, we lost JD in 2014 in February, but we don't like to celebrate that JD passed and left us. We like to celebrate his life. Some of our audience may never have been able to know JD or even have heard episodes that he was on if they haven't gone exploring through the back catalog. But if it hadn't been for JD, we probably wouldn't even have a podcast today, let alone one that's been weekly for 15 years now with barely a missed Wednesday to be counted. In the summer of 2009, it was JD who messaged Brian one day with words to the effect of, "I want to be on a podcast. You should bring back RFC." That's just the kind of guy JD was. This simple message, it was life-altering for many of us. I personally can't really imagine where I would be right now or what I'd be doing if, like, RFC's return and being able to be part of it really directly led to a lot of opportunities for me that I can't otherwise imagine having. Who I am and where I am, I feel like I owe in no small part to JD, even if he had no idea where his urging that one summer would end up leading to. And then, of course, as weeks became months, became years of podcasting together, JD became a close friend who I look forward to hanging out with every week. I had the privilege of being JD's friend as well, something that cemented as we bonded during our trip to BotCon 2012, which that's an experience I wouldn't trade for anything. From rolling up to his house with Brian after 14 hours on the road at 2 a.m. to debating the intricacies of quantum physics in his living room, before we all rolled back into bed for the long trip ahead of us to Texas the next day. Also, note, we're debating quantum physics, but not a PhD to be found among us. We ate his cooking. We watched him keep his mouth shut when Brian Savage trash-talked JD's home state of Oklahoma directly to his face. And then, of course, we had the return trip to JD's house, where our weekend together was capped off with a dinner of Ted's Cafe Escondido. If you know, you know. It was soon after that I was fortunate enough to manage to steal JD away from podcasting full-time on RFC to join my podcast, Superhero Time. My show's tone, style, and humor evolved and was enriched by JD's presence and influence. We were already the internet's most offensive podcast about children's TV shows, but damn if JD didn't try to make it even more so. JD made that many more friends on Superhero Time who loved him in life and deeply mourned his untimely passing. JD's been gone from this world for a long time, and I can hardly even believe how long it's been. But although he's gone, he's far from forgotten. All of us who knew him and were blessed enough to have been his friend we will always carry part of that man with us. I, for one, will never think of sour cream the same way I did before I knew him. Right after JD's passing, Hey Mickey, who might have been JD's closest friend across our podcast, had a really nice way of looking at the tragedy of his loss. He said essentially that the time JD was with us is always there. JD is alive in those moments, and even though we can't go back to them, our memory of them means that JD is never really gone. And I can feel this. I know this to be true, as rarely does the day go by that something doesn't make me imagine what JD would say or how he'd react. Or sometimes just unbidden comes the memory of him screaming at Fort Max over Skype, or all of us listening to the tornado sirens in the distance, carried to us by his abandoned headset while he sheltered in the bathroom that one time. Ultimately, JD will always live on as long as his memory carries on in the minds and hearts of others. And so, over these last few minutes, I've wanted to share some of the essence of JD Church so that even if you didn't know him personally, something of him will continue to live on in you too, and will all help keep who he was alive long ahead into the future. Rest well, JD, and know you're never far from our hearts or minds. And that concludes the JD Church Memorial episode for this year. Thanks for being here, everybody. Good night. I'm kidding. We've got a whole show ahead of us. Do any of you guys have anything you want to add before we move on from the memory of JD?
I don't think there's anything I can add to that. Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Thank you. I've been
Yeah.
thinking about this for like 2 or 3 weeks now.
I didn't get to know JD that much. I came on early 2012, early 2013, after my mom passed away, and so I didn't get to know him that well. But two things will always stick out in my head. One is when he did a complete treatment for a CW version of Wonder Woman called Themyscira High. It was one of the funniest things I have ever heard in my life, and it sounded something just like the CW would have done at the time. And also his love of just belting out Gavin's theme song. Wrong, of course.
Oh, very wrong.
Very wrong.
Wrong
but-
in so many ways.
Yeah, wrong in so many ways, but especially because Wizard was airing at that time.
It's not
So-
Wizard Gavin. Like he didn't even get the tune right after a while.
Yeah, so
He
yeah,
would just sing something and add Gavin to it, and that was just it.
that was it. Yeah, so that's what I always will think of was the Themyscira High CW show with Wonder Woman and friends, and just randomly belting out Gavin's completely inappropriate and wrong theme song.
You know, I'm glad you mentioned the Themyscira High thing because it occurs to me now how appropriate it is that I paid tribute to JD and forgot to even mention Fanboy Versus, JD's own podcast, which we all joked that I basically killed with Superhero Time. So like that's so much even more appropriate, and I didn't even think of it. Thank you, Todd.
No problem.
All right. So let's jump over to the news. So today we got what seems to be our first looks at the Amazon 2-pack of Bludgeon and Ruckus.
Okay, is
so-
it just me, but Bludgeon looks wrong?
So in a sense, what this Bludgeon is more based on the inner robot than the Pretender shell.
Also,
And-
IDW Stormbringer series.
Right. It's specifically IDW's interpretation of inner robot Bludgeon, because Pretender technology was something in the IDW universe that developed after their series started. So when Bludgeon first appeared, he did not have, the samurai motif. That being said, like these colors, as far as I've seen, are more accurate to like initial character design concept art and don't necessarily reflect how the coloring of the comic at the time rendered Bludgeon. Like the yellows are a lot stronger and more saturated on this toy than they were in the actual comic art that I've seen samples of. But they did tool up another new head for Bludgeon to resemble Bludgeon's appearance in the comics at the time. And I mean, we've been tossing this around a lot since we heard about this two-pack's existence. Like, what would they do with Legacy Bludgeon to distinguish it from the regular retail version? And they really distinguished it from the regular retail version.
That they did.
Yeah.
Now, potentially more importantly in this two-pack is Ruckus. As we all predicted, it is a retool of Beachcomber. Reasonably extensive one, if I'm honest. Like
A lot more extensive than I expected. To
Yeah,
tell you
I was
the truth.
expecting the crankcase mold again, to be honest.
I mean, I guess that certainly would have been one way they could have gone. So I'm looking at Beachcomber in my hands right now, and like, it seems to me like the forearms are different. The most or all of the legs have been changed.
Yeah, it pretty much looks like the shoulders and the thighs are about all that's the same.
Yeah, the chest is different. I think the wheels they kept, but yeah, like this is a very, very extensive partial of Beachcomber, and like, yeah, obviously if you've seen one toy, you can see the other one in it, but it's as close to just getting a fully new Ruckus as we could hope to get. Like they even put like good size flip out cannons over the shoulders, which is certainly more than Crankcase was able to get.
Yeah, and you had to buy the non-F kit just to get him looking closer to the way he was supposed to look.
And Windsweeper didn't get his at all.
Again, the non-F kit.
Well, I mean, I've said before on Windsweeper, they tried with what they had to make them target masters resemble his arm cannons. It's not great, but they tried.
Yeah.
But Windsweeper, Ruckus to me is selling this set. Like the Bludgeon is okay. I'm not the biggest Bludgeon fan anyway. Honestly, for what I wanted, probably would have been like a happy medium of the two Bludgeons that they did. But I mean, Ruckus is definitely selling the pack for me.
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone else see that face on Bludgeon's chest, though?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That reminds me of Primus when he was in the wall in the Marvel G1 book. Or like almost like maybe it's like almost like it's like Unicron's face, kind of. It's just I just can't not see that face now.
Well, I'm kind of seeing Dr. Robotnik myself.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
like that long horizontal green piece is the mustache.
Yeah. Somebody needs to get on this and do a Photoshop of that right now.
Yes.
I'm busy. I'm sorry.
The episode title: The Many Chest Faces of Bludgeon.
No, see, it doesn't work that way, Don. You can't just like speak the title you want in the show and then declare that counts for show title.
It must be taken out of context.
Yes.
Oh,
these are the rules.
It's the superhero time tradition.
Oh, okay. I didn't get the memo on that.
Yeah, I agree with Matt, though. Ruckus is really selling this set. It's hard for me to look at this Bludgeon and even really see Bludgeon in it.
The beard is weird.
So it's not a beard. In the comics art, Bludgeon didn't have a jaw.
He's missing his jaw.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I understand why this reads as a beard, and it kind of does on the toy, but that's not what the original intent was. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to get this because I'm gonna need, my third Trigger Con. At the same time, though, I'm not like hurrying to get that Windsweeper 2-pack, and I sort of feel like I can probably safely do that with this one too and wait for the price to come down a little bit. It's probably not that much of a risk.
Hmm.
So next up, we have what is very possibly our first look at Studio Series 86 Commander Class Optimus Prime. I'm going to assume the piano set is sold separately. Or maybe that's what the trailer turns into now. It's hard to say.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got a low-res picture from, I think, Weibo. And, like, this is it's not consistent with any Optimus Prime I've seen before, right? So like it's not like a misidentified third-party toy as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
And it's
absolutely.
certainly got the hallmarks of a generation style product. But it's definitely Studio Series because there's a big backpack of folded up vehicle parts hanging out there, unfortunately.
It actually looks good for you know what I was expecting. It looks good.
Yeah, so I mean they hit some of the notes that you'd want them to hit for Studio Series 86. He's got the white pelvis and thighs. They did long
Perfectly.
smokestacks. Um, it's hard to really judge like the torso shape so much, but the proportions look a little bit better than Earthrise Optimus. I think it's got a full length torso instead of being like, Wesley Crusher proportioned.
I'm
Um,
kind of glad they went with the white outline of the Autobot symbol.
Yeah.
That really says something for me because it's like finally.
mhm.
And yeah, his legs in general are pretty impressive. Um, sort of like from the knee down, like the silhouette's pretty good. We don't know what it looks like from the back, but it looks like 3 out of the 4 sides look really good.
Mhm.
So that's definitely like and like way different, way more cartoon accurate, way more masterpiecey than
Yeah.
anything we've gotten to date.
Yeah, I mean this looks like it's taking a lot of cues from MP44. Hopefully it's not taking engineering cues from MP44.
Or pricing
can't.
cues from MP44.
Well, yeah.
And
As a commander class, we know it's going to be about $100. So
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing some official photos of this just because
Mhm.
this is just not the way it looks from this angle. I am not really digging all that much, so I would like to see more of it before I make up my mind.
some glamour shots, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm to be honest, just the lack of a large backpack on the Earthrise version just makes that set with Teltran 1 a little bit more appealing to me now.
Mhm.
But again, it's really not fair to judge it by this because this is not even an official photo if this is the real thing. So
Right.
Yeah, the backpack doesn't bother me so much because Prime always had like a bulky upper body. He always had kind of a backpack. This is just a little larger than you'd like, but I don't think it looks bad.
yeah,
I guess I'm just kind of stuck on Optimus Prime. G1 Optimus Prime is one of the most well-worn engineering patterns in Transformers, and I'm not sure why they couldn't design this in such a way where you don't have to have an obtrusive backpack like that. Even if it's not like as egregious as some other examples, it's still something that's there that, like, by all rights, doesn't really need to be there.
Maybe that's the trailer in the backpack.
oh, I'd be impressed if it was, but you can kind of see the front bumper of the truck sticking out on his
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, you can see the headlights as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like-
mean,
Go ahead, Don.
because see, they pulled off Carrie, the third party Rodimus Prime, and his trailer is completely built into the body. But I don't think even after all this time they could pull off that at a retail. And Carrie was about the same price as the Commander class, but I don't think they could pull this off even with today's engineering to hold away a trailer in there. Be nice though.
I like some of the signs I'm seeing of the posability here. There's cutouts on the forearm, so the elbows should be able to bend in pretty tight. It looks like there's butterfly joints at the shoulders, so that you can pitch the arms forward. Whether that is a transformation joint and it's just pulling double duty here, like it's not really material to it. It's got that functionality in robot mode. The legs look like they're set up decently. You can see that the pelvis has hinged panels, so the legs are free to move. Hopefully, it's not going to be like Studio Series Ironhide, where it's a single hinged panel all the way across the front. I hate the way that looks in practice.
Yeah.
I'm hoping on a Commander class they will, just burn the parts count with making that 3 or 4 different pieces. But like, yeah, there's aspects of what I can interpret of the engineering here that I feel like could have been maybe done differently to achieve still a similar visual result, but I can also tell like there's been work and care put into making this be uh genuine and fitting of being the Studio Series 86 version of Optimus Prime. It's I feel like they put Soundwave in Legacy because to Evan and whoever else is making those decisions, that toy just does not quite meet what they want Studio Series 86 to be. This is going that full distance. And probably does not reuse any of Siege or Earthrise Optimus, which, we've all been wondering about for a long time, whether it was going to be carry forward of some of the existing designs or pieces. And no, I think we're getting something that's 100% new. We still have to see the trailer. Like it's going to be a little sad if they go to all this trouble to make a nice new robot and they still give us that half-size trailer from Earthrise, but trailer is kind of an extra at this point, and yeah, I think there's some promise to this, and I agree with Rob. I want to see some of the official glamour shots of it.
Yeah, it's what we said when we got Siege, and we thought this is a pretty good Cybertronian Optimus, and then we got Earthrise, and after we got over being angry that we just got Siege Optimus, not much more than a year prior, before even if that, then we get Earthrise Optimus, which we thought was this is a pretty damn good Optimus. This will probably, hopefully, be the last one for a while. So now we're getting the Commander class. Let's hope this one is the last G1 Optimus for a while.
Well, no, because next year I want the Commander class to be Power Master Optimus Prime.
Yeah.
A fully functioned Power
true.
Master
Okay.
Optimus Prime.
The last G1.
The last 1984 Optimus Prime.
Yeah,
I think is the
yeah, that's
label.
probably the best way to phrase that. Yeah.
That's the specificity we're looking for here, yes. All right, so anything else on this before we move on? No? Good. So remember Transformers Reactivate, that video game that's been in development hell for like 5 years? Well, instead of that, we're getting news about a new Transformers video game that's supposed to come out this fall, Galactic Trials. Which the best description I've seen of this so far is that it's Transformers Mario Kart.
Oh, I'm interested in that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, that sounds way better than what I thought it was going to be. So continue.
Yeah, so like from all indications, this is a very driving heavy game. With it's like it seems to be race circuit kind of style. There's some robot combat elements mixed into it, but like it's a driving focused Transformers game, which to me does not sound like the worst idea. It's probably not going to be as fun as Mario Kart, because what could be as fun as Mario Kart? It set the standard. But like, as long as it's not Power Rangers Zeo Battle Racers, I guess.
It's certainly a take to build a game. If this is the case, it's certainly a take to build a game where the alt mode is the primary mode, and the vehicle is the thing, and then maybe the robot mode is a power up or just a kind of like an install super move, whatever, comeback mechanic or something like that. But I'm interested. I like that. I like the sound of this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is apparently developed by Outright Games, who did the Transformers Battlegrounds and Earthspark games. So I seem to recall hearing decent things about those. This is obviously not like AAA territory, but that may be in its favor, to be honest. Were you going to say something, Matt?
Yeah.
Okay. Just the fact that it's I wanted to try Reactivate, but also just I did not expect it to have a very long lifespan if it got released as a free-to-play live service game, just because those are kind of waning, I feel like. And even though I'm 6 years into one I cover on YouTube, but just newer games of that type do not seem to last very long. And yeah, I really didn't see it having a great and long future if it did come out. So in terms of what is good for Transformers, a bunch of nice, like, how do I describe it? Like light, very playable games that anybody can pick up and are not expected to become a lifestyle, I think is probably a good move.
Yeah. Yeah, and like you can tell from the screenshots, the visual style of this, they're definitely trying to lean into Transformers 1 to move this a little bit more, even though the art style itself is evergreen based and not based in what the movie's doing. Although, depending on what kind of post-release support there is for this, I wouldn't be surprised for something like DLC skin packs to update the models to look like the Transformers 1 characters potentially.
Yeah.
Like that's not a very complicated thing to do, and if they're going to have a DLC ecosystem for this, even for just the first year after it comes out, like they can get a little bit more return out of that from people who were seeing the movie and into those designs. But yeah, I think you're right about the game as service thing. Like at this point, the ones that are successful are the ones that built their audiences like 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So this is supposed to come out this fall. They're pitching it for all major platforms. So basically anything you have that can play a game, unless you're done and still think you can use your 2600, or they'll have something that they can run this on.
I wish I am a 2600.
I have I think I still have 3 or 4 of them.
Do they work?
It's been a long time since I checked, but last time I did, yes.
Well, you should send one done. No, like to Rob's point of having a game that you can easily just pick up and play, like having this on Switch is going to be big for it, I think. Also, like hopefully this is going to be certified Steam Deck compatible too, because they will get a lot of traction on the PC platform side through that too, I think. So, I think these are good choices having this across all platforms. And if it is, casual, play for a while and then go do something else and come back to it, all the better. It's not a game I'm planning to play, but I think it's good that something like this exists. It's it's a good move up from the like mobile games that we've been having for the last few years, which they held their audiences, but they're always on a short lifespan. This will at least continue to be around even if their live support goes away. So something to mark the moment in time.
Yeah. Blade in the Discord, tfradio.net/Discord, says Outright Games apparently hates microtransactions. I generally consider that a plus, but that also means that what's in the trailer is probably most of it.
Well, give with one hand, take away with the other.
Yeah. I mean, just compared to the last couple of games, those were not like full price titles either. So it's probably not going to set you back very much to try this one out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Outright has had Humble Bundles before for PC players, so if you want to try their previous games, that may be an option at some point.
Just also bear in mind, Transformers titles after licenses expire have a habit of disappearing from online marketplaces, so it may behoove you to track down a physical copy on the Switch or one of the other platforms if it's available in that way.
Good point.
You know what I was just thinking the other day, Chris?
What's that, Diecast?
It's been a while since we've had another Voyager Megatron mold.
I'll take that
Nice.
segue. Yeah, so we had a look at our first SDCC exclusive for this year. It's the Fractured Friendship 2-pack, and indeed, it comes with Siege Megatron again, in the minor Megatron flavor, mind you.
Yeah, they're cutting it close. We almost went a whole year without one.
Is this like a baker's dozen now? Have we had 13 of these?
I think this is going to be number 14. Siege Megatron.
Gosh.
Siege Megatron came out in 2019. It is 2024 now. That's 5 years. We're up to almost 15. We're averaging almost 3 of these per year.
It's
And
horrifying.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I can't wait for the $125 Studio 86 Megatron just to cleanse my palate.
Yeah, something different.
It'll be just a 3-up of Siege and Earthrise Megatron. They'll just blow the CAD model up and add a little bit more paint.
I mean, it's got to be a running joke at Hasbro by now that they're like, hey, we need a SDC exclusive. Oh, let's just throw a Siege Megatron in there.
It may be more of a running joke to have an Orion Pax in an SDCC set.
Yeah.
But I mean, this Orion Pax actually looks pretty cool. It's a retool of the Gamer Edition Optimus Prime, and like it's pretty extensive. There's a side-by-side picture a little ways down the gallery here, and like this Pax is taller than the toy they retooled it off of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty it actually looks better too because the back doesn't have the hands sticking out in vehicle mode.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to me it's a nicer alt mode, definitely.
I do like the alt mode.
I do too.
It's a very sharp wedge.
I like the way the robot mode looks too. Like this really makes this base toy a lot better in my view. So this is more or less the same Orion Pax inspiration that they did the Hound retool based on. This is just the properly realized full-size version of that for SDCC versus being stuffed in an Amazon 2-pack last year. The problem with this, for me at least, is that this set is priced at $74.99, and I have to buy a Megatron that I really don't want in order to get it.
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved to buy this Orion Pax as its own separate retail product for $35. I would have loved that. This is great. The Megatron can go kick sand.
I don't understand the Megatron. I mean, what?
That's Gladiator Megatron.
From IDW. This is an IDW set.
Okay. All right.
From Megatron Origins, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. Basically.
Also, Diecast, finally you get toys that help you explore the relationship between Megatron and Optimus Prime.
I am so done with that origin story. It's been so overdone. But yeah, so was it last year when Minor Megatron came out?
Yeah, at Amazon.
Yeah, so Diecast, this is the evolution of that Megatron.
Yeah, basically.
He went from Minor to Gladiator to full-blown Megatron.
Okay. So I need him in my
Yes, you need him.
In my line of Megatrons to explain how he got from point A to point
D16.
Yes. Yeah.
You need this for the 14-point timeline that you set up on your shelf.
But Dawn will be happy to know that this one comes with GoBot killing weapons.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to picture with this Siege Megatron mold. Imagine if he was in a box by himself, and the top of the box would be start, change, finish. Like it's
using
same,
a different Megatron for each one.
Yeah, it is the same toy, same basic toy for like all the steps, and it's like, yep, that's that mold.
Okay, so we have, I think, 14 of these. How many steps officially is Siege Megatron's transformation rated at?
I thought it was like 19.
Yeah, how many more of these do we need so we can represent each one of those steps in sequence with a separate Megatron toy? Because I think that needs to be the new life goal now.
Yeah, and one of those is, I think, is like fold hands in. I think that's one.
Okay,
step.
but it still counts. We have to have a separate Siege Megatron release to represent it. This is the fold in.
We need a
Megatron.
Physical representation of the transformation steps in the instructions.
Yes.
Well, I hope with this one...
They listen to this show. Let's not give them any more ideas.
I hope with this one, at least the factory assembles it right, because, after the 12th or 13th time, they're like, even the factory wants to do something different.
Yeah, you
they're
figure
like,
they'd
let's
have it
put
down
parts
by now.
on backwards.
Yeah, that's right. Minor Megatron did come with like the knees installed backwards.
Yeah,
you
had to basically swap the legs or something to
knock pins out, I think.
Get him to stand right. If you would have told me we would have more Megatron repaints than Seekers, I would have said you were wrong, but here we are.
I wouldn't have called it either.
I still want more of those.
That actually angers me now that you've pointed that out.
I want more of those Voyager Seekers and not Megatron.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good time to put this Megatron to bed. Like, let this be your last Megatron.
Oh, they can do them with a set of pajamas. That's perfect.
Megatron's in pajamas.
Are coming down the stairs.
If
Yeah.
you put him to bed, if you put them all to bed, you may not have room in the bed for yourself.
Also, Don, congratulations. You did get us an episode title.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm with you. I really like that Orion Pax mold, and I
Yeah.
wish I could buy that separately.
Yeah.
I've got all the Orion packs that I ever need at this point.
I mean,
I'm
that's
good.
that's true. This Orion Pax just also doubles as being basically Stormbringer Optimus Prime. So there is still a use for it. They just that design, shared time as being early IDW Optimus and pre-war Super Cop Orion Pax. Like there is more than one application for this, and I really do regret that if I want this, I have to buy that Megatron with it. Hopefully, this will end up being like the War Dawn 2 pack, and it will hang around and come down in price some. As it is, I think I can live without it because I can live without it.
Well, I think this year they're going back to the old San Diego Comic-Con model too, of actually physically selling stuff at the show, and then just whatever's left over goes up on websites.
I think that's what happened last year too, though. Like, I think they've been doing that since they've been having actual SDCCs open to the public again. It was just those couple of years in there when they weren't having any actual trade shows that we were benefiting from. All the exclusives are only distributed online. But yeah, I don't think I'll feel too bad if I don't end up getting Orion Pack Super Cop Stormbringer Optimus. Real nice retool job though. Gotta give him credit for that. So one thing I won't mind missing for sure at SDCC is the exclusive Mini-Mates VHS 4-pack box set of Shockwave and the Rainmakers.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want it just because it's the Rainmakers. I have never bought a Mini-Mate in my life, but that's tempting.
I think you shouldn't start now.
Oh, I'm not going to. But if there was any that would make me start, it would probably be the Rainmakers.
Well, and fortunately for you, I'm going to put it that way, I don't think you'll even have the chance to, because this set is limited to 1,000 units. And there is no mention in the press release of an online distribution for them, probably because they expect them to all sell at the show, which, if there's only 1,000 of them, that very well may happen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really know the state of Mini-Mates fandom at this point, but there's probably enough people, and this is probably going to be low-priced enough that somebody who just wants something from SDCC 2024 will probably go and pick this up. But yeah, definitely not feeling any regret over this one.
Yeah. Yeah, the SDCC Mini-Mate sets back from when I was getting Ghostbusters stuff, they were usually pretty reasonable. If they didn't sell out at the show, they tended to be fairly reasonable in the aftermarket as well. So non-zero chance you'll be able to get it for a decent price later if you really want it.
So, our third and final entry on the SDCC track this week, it's a Marvel Legends Death Head that even Don can love.
Don, do you love it?
Do I love it? Not really. Do I appreciate that not only did they add a lot of detail and a lot of the colors, I love the box, because the box is recreating the Marvel card art from the trading card.
Oh God, it is, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's
It
brilliant.
is. It's absolutely, as a exclusive, I think they hit the nail on the head. I will probably try to get one if there's any left, and they go up on Pulse, just because I know there's a lot of fun. I just don't really have a huge love for Death's Head. I just because he never came into the Marvel US stuff, and I didn't know about the UK stuff till many years after the fact. But from what this represents and how it looks in package, it's a brilliant exclusive.
Yeah, so in 2012, they did Marvel Universe Death's Head, which was the like 4-inch figure line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
375.
And
Yeah.
like, I'm sure at least a few of us here, and probably a lot of Transformers fans in general, picked one of those up. I have one.
I have one. Yeah.
It was always a little bit undersized if you wanted a Death's Head that would interact in the way seen in the Marvel UK comics. The 6-inch normal full on Marvel Legends Death's Head will kind of give you what you're looking for there if that kind of thing's important to you. Alas, again, it is SDCC exclusive. It's also $40.
But for a
You can-
custom box and the accessories he's
Oh, yeah.
got,
Oh yeah.
and that looks like that has more paint possibly than your typical Marvel Legends. Plus, it's probably also a larger book.
So theoretically, they could do a non-exclusive Death's Head because in his early Transformers appearances, he was in green and not blue.
Mhm.
So they could do like this paint scheme as a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and then have a more readily available figure that we could all have for our shelf.
Nice.
It's not impossible.
Whether they do that or not, I mean,
Mhm.
I'm sure if you want this, they've gotten pretty good about making these available on Pulse after SDCC.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, too. There's been very few SDCC exclusives in the last 5 to 7 years that have been difficult to get after SDCC's been over. They seem to have been trying very hard to make the availability there for anybody who couldn't actually go, and I appreciate that a lot. That's not to say that it's foolproof. There has, like some of the Star Wars stuff a couple of years have gone really quick, but there's usually something there left over from the show itself, and a lot of it you have a pretty big window to try to grab them if you're interested. It's not like the old days, the very old days, like the stories Don will tell from 20 years ago with the alternators Nemesis Prime, for instance. Don seems to be under attack, or maybe getting
No,
an
no,
electric
no,
shock
no.
or
I
something.
just no that whole time period with trying to get the stuff on the original Hasbro toy shop, shopping Matty Collector and Digital River. All of that is just it just gives me the heebie-jeebies thinking about going through that again.
So, speaking of limited convention exclusives that you may or may not be able to get online after, who's going to TFCon Toronto?
I'll
Out of
go.
curiosity.
Oh, no,
wish.
no, I'm not going.
Nope.
I wish I was going because then I saw the exclusive.
Yeah, so we have TFCon Toronto 2024 is exclusive from Fans Hobby. Clutch, which is Euro G1 Clench made off of their not Armada Optimus body.
and it looks really good.
It really, really does.
It does. It looks fabulous, and it's like maybe they'll have some in Baltimore. Maybe.
No.
No, they won't.
No.
Because every Fans Hobby exclusive has sold out at
Yeah.
the show, and Chosen Prime has had very little to put up, and what
Yep.
little they did put up is sold out within seconds.
Yep.
I like how they made a separate trailer piece for him. And that's super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they did this so that both it would actually look like Clench in vehicle mode as much as they could manage, but also it would have the battle platform thing instead of the super pants. Now, mind you, I would not be averse to reimagining Clench with a super mode.
Yeah.
Like I think that would
Clench
be just
deserves
fine.
super pants just as
Yeah.
much as Optimus does.
Like I would have been fine with that, but I appreciate the effort they put into this, and like, damn if this toy does not look good in Clench colors. Like
It does.
they nailed this thing, and I'm really sad that I don't really have an opportunity ahead of me to get this. It's priced at $220 Canadian, which I think is like 175, 180 US, somewhere around there. So like it's not even that unreasonably priced. It's pretty
No,
well.
I think that's a pretty big toy too.
This is pretty well in line with Fans Hobby's regular pricing that I've seen on their stuff. So like, we don't talk a lot about third-party stuff on here, but we all have a soft spot for Euro G1. This looks really nice, and like I wanted to throw some attention at this and get my regret on record that I'll never have this. On a completely different note of things I won't have, I wanted to do a follow-up. We talked a little bit last week about Queen Studios' human-size Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime statue. So we knew it was very big last week. We didn't know an exact figure on that. We also knew it was going to be very expensive and limited because it was going to be a quote-unquote retail product. So we have some information because I believe the pre-order phase for this started since last episode. The height is listed at 236 centimeters. That is 8.5 to 9 feet tall, somewhere around there.
Man.
Yeah, big human for this to be human sized too.
You need one diecast.
I do.
Well, okay, so that's gonna be a little difficult. The edition size of this is 99, and it costs $20,000.
You need two
It's
diecasts.
fine. It's fine. What's the shipping on it?
You know, oddly enough, they don't mention that. I guess whatever like the going freight rate is at the time, because I don't think you're putting this on a plane.
I was about to
No.
say, you buy it its own seat on the plane, possibly
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. You get a berth in third class.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I don't see listed on this information is how much it weighs, because like this thing's got to be pretty heavy, no matter what they made it out of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is certainly a thing, and I'm surprised that they're planning to make 99 of them. The estimated delivery date is second quarter 2025, so they are probably waiting to see how many pre-orders they actually get before they start manufacturing them.
This is
So that-
something Michael Bay would buy.
Well, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, you know, a wealthy person who is into Transformers, I could see, you know, this ending up in somebody's, you know, wacky display room. Mostly, though, I would expect, like, this is going in a retail window in a big enough store. Because, like, I can't imagine the, like, private ownership potential of a piece like this.
Now showing up at your local Sharper Image in all good malls.
What's a mall?
Hmm.
Yeah, so that was the thing. All right, time to move on to what we got. Diecast, you're at home this week. What do you have?
I'm at home and I have bugs. I have
You know, you can probably spray for that.
I have these bugs that came from Amazon.
Okay, remember this is an audio podcast.
Mirage and Chop Shop.
Mirage, well, I don't remember their names, so that's why I needed someone to help me.
I don't help, I only hinder.
Mirage with the way
Barrage.
Barrage, the way they turned the chest around on Bombshell and used the back, it's kind of, I mean, I guess it's neat, but it leaves a lot of holes that
In the
weren't
shoulders, yeah.
originally there. He's okay. Chop Chop's pretty cool. Can't be, you know, he looks good.
He was always my favorite Deluxe Insecticon.
Yeah. And then the other thing I got was I got the Funko Pop Laserbeak because it's the coolest Funko Pop I've seen in a while.
It does look pretty good.
Yeah. And then since we're talking about Funko Pops, on the same kind of, I want to congratulate Ben Montano, who took a position at the Loyal Subjects.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I thought that was pretty cool. So, because they used to do those, I don't know if they still do, but they used to do those little Transformers figures.
Oh, yeah.
They were like blind boxed because I'm looking at, I have like 2 or 3 of the same on my shelf right now.
Yeah.
Did we know that he had? Now, did we know about him having left Hasbro?
Yes.
I found out several months ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, that were they the ones that did the Transformers versus G.I. Joe blind boxes based on the Tom Scioli comic?
You know, that's a really good question. I remember what you're talking about. I just don't remember who made them.
Yeah.
It
I know.
might have been.
I know they do like the best AXN series
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, I was
Best-
going to say they do
Best
the
action. That's read best action done.
Oh
Yeah.
well,
So definitely good to have somebody with a lot of good action figure experience on that for sure.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's one thing I was thinking of when you were talking about JD is that's, because of him and because of the show, going up to New York and meeting the
Oh, yeah.
Hasbro guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's all, part because of him and,
Yeah.
meeting Ben Montano and John Warden, like, they're like friends now, you know what I mean? So it's really cool.
John Warden probably has up on a wall somewhere like a picture of you with a, don't let him ask about upside down submarines.
Yeah, and no upside down Megatron was the the last. But yeah, that's all I got Transformers related this week.
I'm going to interrupt this real quick. Don, take a look over in Discord. Sean has a special picture for you to see.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so Sean got the Hasbro, the Ecto 1 for the O-Ring figure line that's coming up. Sean also has a custom Headmaster Don action figure that he made, which he has in the front seat of said Ecto 1. The Ecto 1 is being driven by Core Class Cheetor. Because apparently the Don figure wouldn't fit in the driver's side, so I suggested finding a cat to put there instead, and this was the best he could do on such short notice.
That's beautiful.
Why does Sean hate me? What did I ever do to him?
Don, from every indication I've had in my time working with Sean over the last several months, I think that man just adores you, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, just the idea of you being haunted by Core Class Cheetor does make a lot of sense when you get down to it.
So I couldn't even get the dead cabbie from Ghostbusters. I got the Supreme Cheetor. It's like, jeez.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that will haunt you forever, and here it is in plastic form doing so.
Thank you, Sean. Oh, that's good. Okay, so because of that, we'll go to Don next.
Okay. Got a couple of things on topic this week. It's not all off topic. I got in from Amazon TFRadio.net. That's Amazon. I got Nucleus.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's such a completely different tone from Magnus. Plus,
yeah, Magnus is black and this is white, literally different tones.
Right, but I'm also just saying this is like futuristic space rocket car, and the head being based on supposedly the Cylon from Battlestar Galactica kind of was nostalgic for me.
I hate to admit I'm kind of into that too, but I've taken a hard line. I'm not buying the rock people.
Well, that's why I'm not getting the Thundertron leader because he comes with another one of those.
Right.
I got the Voyager. I'm good. Next thing I got, because I forgot to cancel my pre-order,
Oops.
was Vector Prime.
Okay.
Although it's the
nice.
it's the G-Axis mold. I love that mold. I think it's what they did to get G-Axis looking like he just crashed out of the pages of G2.
Mm-hmm.
They could have used a lot worse molds, and I mean I don't mind having it. I just forgot to cancel the pre-order. Also picked up Legacy Sideburn.
I'm sorry.
Now, I mean, I know I was not happy with the Shadow Striker mold.
And you won't be happy with that version either.
I know, but it's Sideburn. It's Robots in Disguise.
Yeah, no,
2000.
I understand of all people, you're kind of obligated to that.
Yeah, and
I'm sorry.
And he'll look good beside of Optimus and Ultra Magnus when they get here next year.
Disagree.
Maybe what you could do in the meantime is go find Kingdom Road Rage and have Sideburn, hitting on her and her punching his lights out, deservedly so.
That could work. Yeah.
There's ways to find a positive side to everything.
Yeah. Also, I got Windsweeper and Bulkhead in the 2-pack.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it was the Windsweeper doing a lot of heavy lifting in this set. But I do have the non-F kit to give him the correct guns. So I'm looking forward to having time to open him up sometime this weekend. And like diecast, I got Barrage and Chop Chop. So I'm really happy to have my Ransack is not by himself on the shelf anymore. And the last thing I got was I did a little splurging. I had some good eBay sales. Uh, and I decided to get movie masterpiece Brawl.
Ah,
Oh,
So,
nice.
I've been really
Nice.
lucky in getting a lot of the other movie masterpieces fairly cheap. I got like Bone Crusher for $96 with a Target sale. I got the Ratchet, the last Ratchet for about 75 or something like that. So I paid retail for him. But I saw a transformation video. He looks great. I think this is going to be a really great looking movie masterpiece figure. And since I don't care about this Megatron that goes with this set, I'm pretty much done with movie masterpiece unless they do something to surprise me.
nice.
I didn't even know that was out yet.
I got this thanks to Paladin posting a link. CMD store got them in stock, and everywhere else was already pre-order sold out.
Mhm.
So I figured, and shipping on this was only $11.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
for something that size and price range, the $11 shipping doesn't feel so bad.
Yeah, I mean, if Swoop had been in stock, I would have added a Swoop to my cart, but they're still sold out, and that's all I got on topic this week.
Well, I'll look forward to hearing your thoughts about Brawl on next week's episode, so consider that your homework.
Sure.
Matt, how about you?
I did not get anything Transformers related this week, but I did get an email from Pulse that said Tidal Wave is on the way. So hopefully next week.
Yeah, I got 3 emails last night, all to do with Hasbro Pulse taking money out of my account for Tidal Wave. So, I guess at least that looming threat is gone from over my head. Now I just have to pay for it.
Oh, I've already got the hey, you paid for this and the shipping notification.
Oh, I don't even have the shipping notification yet. All right, John DeLuna, how about you?
The only thing that I have that hasn't been mentioned by somebody else on the show, because I've gotten some of the stuff that you guys also got. The only thing I've got this week, Monday, I think it was Monday, I got it, was Masterpiece Rhinox.
Oh, right, that's a thing.
And yep, that's a thing. And I'm gonna at some point, maybe tonight, I'll spend maybe 90 excruciating minutes transforming him, and I'll have thoughts next week.
Oh, good.
So,
Something else to look forward to.
yeah,
Well-
I'm not looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to discussing it, but
Yeah,
not the actual
yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
Hey, John, if you use video reviews to help out,
Get your drinks ready, everybody.
Yeah, Wotafa if you don't know him, he's a really great reviewer on YouTube. It's Japanese language, but he is so precise in showing everything. I've used his videos on a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I never transform a masterpiece without a YouTube video. Never, ever.
That
They're too
is such a
expensive and-
condemnation.
Yeah, I mean, yes. They're too expensive. They're too delicate. I need somebody holding my hand in video form. And so again, this will be 90 minutes of my life I will never get back, but that's okay. That's how much I've committed to this hobby and to this podcast and the video. I do it for I'm sacrificing myself on behalf of everybody who's listening and watching.
John DeLuna taking one for the team. Rob, how about
Yeah.
you?
Nothing on topic this week.
Well, since I don't either, you know what that means. It's time to go to our off-topic segment, which is exclusive to our patrons. Patreon.com/TFRadio if you want to hear about what we got off-topic, among a slew of other benefits, which we'll go over in more detail in a few minutes. So, Rob, right back to you. What's off-topic this week?
Just one thing, actually. They just released Tsukihime, a piece of Blue Glass Moon in English for the PlayStation 4. So I got the version of that. I'm just kind of stacking all of the Type Moon games because I have a feeling that someday I'm probably going to be able to get more than my money back. But also I may ultimately at some point like play them, but I have trouble just setting the time aside for visual novels. It's just one of those things.
They are kind of a whole, yeah.
Yeah, so that is, but I have it. It's there on the shelf. I'm not I'm glad I got it, and that is it for this week.
All right, we'll just go in reverse order. John.
The only thing I got off topic this week was I am collecting the Jada Toys Transformers, the Jada Toys Street Fighter line. Wasn't hunting it, but I did come across the exclusive red redeco of Chun-Li at Target. That's a thing that's out there. Looks cool. I'm not gonna open this one. I have a normal Chun-Li suit, so I'm doing fine. But I did discover the obligatory red exclusive that Target has of her. So if you're interested, there's been like almost no marketing for that. So if you're interested in, I don't know, a red Chun-Li, just know that they're hitting Targets now. And that was it for me.
Matt, did you get anything off topic?
I did. I got 2 shipments from Toku Collectibles this week.
Ooh.
So first, I got a new Shoto Super Set. They're faster than you. They're smarter than you. They're stronger than you, but they're evil. I got the Psycho Rangers,
Nice.
aka the Nessie Rangers. And unlike any toys that they've ever gotten before, the colors on these are actually correct because they've got the nice shiny metallic
Oh, yes.
color to them. They are
cool.
absolutely gorgeous. Always loved this design. And they even come with silver, even though he was not actually a thing, just a disguise. And
Spoilers.
today, for what, a 25-year-old Sentai.
Shut up, you.
And today, about an hour and a half before the show, I got the Shokugan Modeling Project Gingayo,
Oh, nice.
aka the Lost Galaxy Megazord. Like I said, I've only had it for about an hour and a half, so I hadn't had a chance to put any of it together yet, but I am going to enjoy the hell out of that whenever I get around to it.
I want to hear about that next week.
Yes. So everything I've seen from it, like the Gingorilla, the blue one, is pretty much going to be a brick on his own because the way he forms the legs, like it blocks all of the posability in his individual mode.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to have some gaps on his forearms from the way Gingaveric and Gingat transform to like their animal legs.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm still super looking forward to this. And I hope they get to some more of these relatively soon because I would very much like a Go Taurus to go with him.
Yeah.
And that's it for me.
Don, how long are we going to be here?
Only got 2 things.
Oh, cool.
In my quest to complete the Super 7 Ultimates Thundercats, as far as the Thundercats themselves and the main evil mutants, a lot of the side characters I'm not really worrying about anymore. I was able to get a really good deal on the first Monkeyan, who includes the shield, and because the toy version to me doesn't look right, and it did not include some of the accessories. And I also picked up the very hard to find Wily Cat. So these are a lot of places, from what I understand. My pre-order got canceled. So a lot of places were canceling pre-orders, and so I now have Wily Kid and Wily Cat. I will spoil. I do have a Tigra, but it's going to have to sit for a little while until I pay it off. So, because Tigra from Wave 2 is very, very hard to find. And that's all that I got.
All right, Diecast, what do you have?
Not a thing.
Well, that was a letdown. Okay, so first, our off-topic gets are exclusive to our patrons. Also, as a patron, you'd be able to get things like ad-free versions of the podcast with the automatic pre-roll and post-roll inserts. You will get radio-free Cybertron a day early, not 24 hours necessarily, but the day before it goes up live on our public feed, you'll have that available to you. RFC at a higher bit rate. You get the weekly Patreon exclusive pre-show podcast, and let me tell you, it was a banger this week. Just absolutely top tier premium material. You are really getting your money's worth with this week's pre-show podcast. You get unedited episodes of RFC exclusive to our patrons, which that's just a matter of like if Diecast is being particularly a nuisance to Don and Don just has like a swearing up and down explosion, that will be content that we preserve for our patrons, but it'll have to be cut out of the public feed show.
Hey, and when it's a diecast stream show, you never know if it's actually going to go out on the internet.
I actually shared the Meltdown with the There Goes My Money team a couple weeks ago. It was a hit. Don's making faces at me now. Don, we did release the Meltdown publicly, I believe, through our Patreon shortly after we launched that. So it's been out there, and I still have the recordings.
And I played it for people at TFCon. There were many laughs.
I played it for Hey Mickey once. He was delighted. Speaking of There Goes My Money, though, patrons at our touch tier actually have the opportunity to come and podcast with me and some of the other guys on There Goes My Money, our 2 or occasionally 3 times a month podcast about the new pre-orders and products that go up. Any of our touch patrons are eligible to come and be on there. You just have to send us a shout out that you want to be on, contact at tfradio.net, or hit us up through Discord, tfradio.net/Discord. If you're a touch patron and you're not taking advantage of that at least every once in a while, you're pretty literally leaving money on the table. It's really fun. So I encourage anyone who is already a touch patron to come do that. And anybody who wants to get in on just the zany hijinks of podcasting, come sign up with us as a touch patron. You'll be supporting RFC and all the stuff we do here. And you get a pretty cool extra bonus perk out of it too. So of course you can find all of our stuff at tfradio.net. That's 15 years of basically uninterrupted weekly podcasting, plus our complete archive, which goes back a total of 25 years now. Just sit there for a minute and absorb that and just marvel at how much time of our lives we've wasted. Which is not to say, the friendships I've made with some of you have certainly not been what I would consider a waste, but wow, we have sunk so many hours into this. Literally thousands of podcast episodes are in our back catalog to go through, some of which I'll even acknowledge that I was part of. But yeah, you can check all that out there. You can check out the show notes for this episode at tfradio.net/890. That's our shortcut cheat sheet. The show notes for a given episode are at tfradio.net/that episode number. So you can almost always find that way. I forgot our most important touch patron perk until I just looked back at the show notes, which is the shout outs to our touch patrons. So I'm going to load up the credits page right now, tfradio.net/credits, where you can go anytime and see a list of our touch patrons who help make the show go. And of course, they all, when I remember in time and don't rush right past it, get a shout out on the show when I host. So our touch patrons, we want to thank you, Kevin Dorsey, Jacob Owen Lutia, Sean Bratton, Emmett Sresovich, Hector Bones, Jay Klein Rye, Joey Russell, Here's Why It's Cool, Rabbits, Ryan Bona, Sean Hamilton, Sean Williamson, Spider Bob, Trickster, Nathan's Fast Talk Food Reviews, and Mollis Koenig. Thank you all so much for being touch patrons. I'm sorry you had to wait an extra 3 minutes to get your shout out this week. I'll do better next time I host. You can find Brian Kilby at briankilby.com or on Blue Sky at Kilby. You can find me on the internet on Blue Sky at ChrisRTXV. I have an archive of my toy photography related work, galleries, articles, and things at playwithphotography.com. I have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/chrislist if you're so moved to just send me random stuff for my enjoyment, TV shows, toys, etc. But apart from that, Rob, how about you tell us how we can get a hold of you when you're not here?
Okay. I'm on Blue Sky at robflails.bsky.social. That is connected to Flail Throughs, my YouTube channel, where I've been covering the Gundam Battle Operation series since it started 11 years ago. That sounds like a number. Yeah, 11 years.
Good grief.
The 6th anniversary is approaching pretty quickly. Also, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have a beta test for Gundam Breaker 4 that I hope to be covering. So, looking forward to that. The Breaker games are a lot of fun. If you like what I'm doing over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs. You can make requests for whatever games I happen to be playing for specific characters, color schemes, rounds, what have you. And I also have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/playlist.
Very nice. Matt?
If you must, melvar.bsky.social. That's with 3 L's and 2 R's.
Yes, we must. It's obligatory. John DeLuna.
That John D everywhere.
Done.
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR. I can be reached on Blue Sky, if I can remember my password, at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.bluesky.social. I do have an Amazon wish list, tfradio.net/donlist as well.
Diecast?
I have a birthday coming up in 2 weeks. tfradio.net/diecast list. You can get a hold of me on Twitter and Blue Sky at diecast2. You can like my reviews at Reviews by Diecast, or you can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast. And you can see all my reviews on youtube.com/RFC Reviews.
And of course, he's not here, but Rob Springer can be found on Blue Sky at zonebase.bsky.social or at zonebase.org. And of course, he has his podcast, which you can check out on our main podcast feed about once a month. All right, so I think that's going to do it for us this week. An amazingly average length show for me being hosting for the week. That almost never happens. So thank you all so much for being here. We will see you next time. And be sure to send Brian all your well wishes on the new house, because moving sucks. Good night, everybody.
Night all.
Take care.
Recording stopped.
All right.
Very nice.
I'm glad you got that last bit in, because I was about to say we forgot to mention Brian, so he has to listen to the show.
Well, I mean, I talked about it at the start of the show, too. And I think we made some kind of offhand reference to him in the middle of the show. So there is definitely plenty of reference to Brian. I mean, he's still going to have to edit this, so he's going to have to listen to at least some of it in theory. Although I'm pleased that we only have 2 notes in my editing document, and one of them is just where the off-topic what we got started. The other is
There we
when
go.
Diecast Dog wouldn't shut up.
Luckily, Diecast wasn't talking at the time, so that's an easy edit.
Yeah,
Yeah, I tried to hit the mute as quick as possible when the dog started barking.
that's good. Yep, I think that was a good show.
Yep. So, Don, is that brawl supposed to be a target?
The what?
A target? Like, they
The
always...
Masterpiece Brawl.
The
Oh
Masterpiece
yeah,
Brawl.
that's what I've heard. But it's not on the website. They do have Ratchet on the website, but that Ratchet is just a repaint from the previous one,
Yeah.
and Brawl has not had any sign showing up. I was going to wait till Target got it so I could, maybe Dynanomics it down some, But after seeing the transformation that MGO did, it was just a really great looking figure, and it looked like it wasn't a bag of knives to handle.
Yeah, I really want that brawl.
Yeah, I'll never have a complete set because I don't care about that Megatron. I wish I could sell my 2007 Megatron for $20.
You didn't get
But-
that Bone Crusher, did you?
Yeah, I got it for I got it for $94 when they were running that sale, because I got him and someone else, and then I sold to someone else for like an extra $20 profit. So I basically had like 75, 85 in the Bone Crusher.
Not bad.
The Bone Crusher's the one I skipped. I was like, even when it was on sale, I couldn't do it.
Oh, I just got an email notification from Amazon. The dock wave of classifieds has been pushed back to late August.
Yeah, August 28th is what mine said.
I might just have to go try to find that at Walmart since that wave's in Walmart right now.
Yeah, it's yeah, I saw that, but locally all we have is the quick kick. I had to contact Amazon customer service because they ran the Cobra eels at 21.24 in early April, and I ordered two, and they're on Amazon now, fulfilled by Amazon at 24.99, and they keep going in and out of stock. And so I said, you know, are mine ever going to get filled? And the person said they got stuck in something about the order was stuck. So they went in and pushed it through, and hopefully I'll have them soon. Plus, he said because of the inconvenience, just contact them when they arrive, and I'll get a 20% refund on the order
Nice.
if I get them. Again, it's still basically we received your order, and
And we received your order.
It could be Netflix Wave 1 Transformers.
Oh yeah, yeah. Although I have to think at this point, if like you would get a scrap face, that'd probably be worth something.
Yeah.
I think people have forgotten all about that by now.
I mean, I do, and I have one like in a box just over on the other side of the room.
well, I forgot that even existed until we saw Emmerich Zarin
Yeah.
materialize into existence. It's like, what mode are they using? And then I read somewhere it was great. It was like, oh, I can.
Oh,
I've got
sadly, I was able to tell right away.
Well, I've got the recolor version, the 3-pack that's in the reflector colors, still in the box. Never opened it.
I have the retail, I have the reflector, and I have 3 scrap faces formed into a camera. So- Sorry, diecast.
No, I eventually got everything I needed because I went out and bought them I think the last scrap face I needed I picked up at the last TF Con we were at together. So, because I was one away from making the camera. So, all right, I think I'm gonna get going.
Don't forget to shut the stream off.
Yep, I gotta shut the stream off.
Like, I don't know if it was the last time you streamed or the time before that, but like sometime in recent history, like 2 hours later, somebody on Discord pinged me and like, "Hey, why is the stream still up? Nothing's on." I had to go log in and turn it off myself.
No.